Mojo Monday. How are you,
Mojo
Rick Hale?
Monday. Yeah, life's good, man. Coffee with my buddy Brett, here to share
Yeah,
good news and information to inspire.
there you go. I love it. Our context. This is our gift to the world of just positive thinking, positive inspiration, positive motivation on a Monday morning, right?
Monday morning magic.
So here's topic today. It's a one-off topic, and there's the two most powerful words in the English language, which are I am. Tell me, first time you heard that phrase, that they were the two most powerful words.
Well,
Did you believe it? It took a
well,
while
it's
to
a
get your head
declarative
wrapped around.
statement. It's a declarative statement that
Yeah,
just says that, fill in the blank is like, I mean, obviously it's a bit rhetorical to say who you are. But that's really half the battle is between your ears in life and being, feeling that sense where the apex of capacity and results kind of land. If you don't have that I am thought about whatever that activity, behavior, or that endeavor is, those things usually don't happen. So I am, I'm sure early on it was met with a lot of scrutiny about what I wasn't, and more confusing because I'm sure I was a young teen.
sure. And it's tough to say I am and not believe it in your heart, right?
Yeah, well, assuming it's genuine, correct.
Yeah, of course,
It's
of
hard to
course.
make up stories like I am an ultra marathon runner. I could say that 1,000 times, but there's got to be something inside me that supports that belief too.
Correct, correct. But the point of it is when you declare it, it changes the physiology of your body, right? And we've used terms in business called affirmations. And I think most people at this point, we don't need to explain really what an affirmation is, but an I am statement is an affirmation. It's a positive tense statement that says, I am powerful. I am ultra marathon runner. I am whatever you choose to become or believe that you are. You make the statement today in present tense that you are that person.
Right. There's power in definitely in future pacing and present tense as a starting place. There's also the reticular activator in your brain that the more you say it, it goes to work trying to create an evidential path or connecting the dots, if you will, to results or evidence or opportunities to become that, even if you're not exactly that. It's whatever question you pose to your brain is the question it's going to attempt to answer. And so the I am statement, although not a question, your brain still has to process as if it were a question, and it tries to seek evidence. So it's either I am something incredible or I am something that's less than, and that's what it's going to go looking for.
Yeah. And it really is speaking to that subconscious mind, right? Because we've got this thing in our head called the subconscious mind, which is a really intelligent part of our brain that doesn't necessarily make it to conscious thought. But when you go as far as to tell yourself a powerful I am statement, you're speaking to that part of your brain that says, hey, you are, and it makes its way to the conscious thought, and it changes the physiology of your body. I think there's something we should make sure we point out. There was a book called The Secret that said, hey, put things out there into the universe. And when you put things out there into the universe, they'll manifest in your life. And this is not for or against that concept. However, there's a journey you got to take on the other side of these statements, right? Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, there's part of it is saying I am or committing to that mental image of you having the capacity, which is like fuel in that, the whole perseverance piece doesn't work unless you believe there, number one, you're worthy. And number two, you have the capacity and the willingness to do the work. So inside your brain, to be able to really, trick your brain before you are, but you want to be, and you feel it's in there waiting to come out, you have to arm your subconscious brain with your own internal evidence, if you will. For instance, I was just thinking about this the day that I committed to becoming an operating partner in 1999. It would have been early 2000. I wasn't a broker. I'd never owned a company. I'd never successfully run a company for someone else. I was a pretty good salesperson, in fact. And the reason is I just outworked everybody and I out networked everybody. It was a people puzzle, and I loved expanding my relationships. All that to say, when they granted me the opportunity, I guarantee there were days I woke up and went, I am an operating partner. And part of my brain said, really? Are you sure? And so, but first I had to put a flag in the ground. The second half of it was make that commitment to the region, to Bob and Kay, that I could handle the responsibility and that would make them proud. And then the third step was follow the recipe and do the work.
Yep.
And then gradually over time, I quit. I knew that I was an OP and didn't feel the need to necessarily declare I'm an OP. And then maybe it became, I'm a top 10 OP in the region. And then maybe it's not, I'm a top 10 OP in the country, but that's an evolutionary path and a conversation that never stops.
Absolutely. I met a lady one time. She's the head of the Harvard University Women's Basketball League. And her message to the world is, you got to show up and act as if you already deserve to be there. It was a really powerful message. You can look her up. Her name's Kathy Delaney. Yet, if you plan to be a champion, you have to show up today and act as if you're ready for that journey and you already are that person. But the I am statements, you're saying today in present tense, saying, I am a champion, I am an ultramarathon runner, I am blank, right? However, there is a journey between here and there that you have to take to get to that champion status. It just starts with a possibility statement. It starts with a powerful present tense affirmation that sounds like I am whatever you want to be, right? That's why it's so powerful. And that's why we say they're the two most powerful words in the English language, because they're the start of anything great in your life.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've got to have that believe moment as quickly as you can too. So there's another piece to this. And that's, Amon Heisler is a really good friend of mine, and she's a top agent in the Woodstock office. And if you aren't following her on Facebook, you should, man. She's got some of the most creative marketing, and her tribe or database follows her like no other I know. She has amazing influence, but she also coaches young agents and supports them. And I was talking to her one day and I said, what's the secret to helping these agents get over the hump? And she said, it's having a believe moment. And once they have a believe moment, the believe moment is that moment when you check a box where something happens, you do the work, and then the result shows up and it actually validates the I am statement. And he gives it additional fuel and confidence. Like what I said earlier, I went from saying I am an OP to what version of OP do I want to be? Because clearly I am, just not because I believe it, because it's actually evolved and occurred. But you have to first have the thought and then have a moment. And when she said it, I thought she was referring more to new agents. And then the more I pondered that wisdom, it just hit me square in the nose that every day we're seeking believe moments that support the I am statement. Today, I am going to find $1 million buyer. I am going to work with an athlete or sports star, a movie person, someone, high up in politics or high up in the corporate chain, differently than I've worked with, and expand my network into a real relationship with an influencer. But then you have to actually check the believe box moment, which means doing the work, which I think is what you're talking about, transcending from the I am to the, it's obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a journey. We're all on a journey, right? And we're all
absolutely
on this path to mastery, or this path to I am. And I just love this concept this morning. I am is so powerful. Rick, how do we put this into a challenge? How do we challenge our people to take what we're talking about today and really manifest it in their life?
Well, just remember, if it's to be, why not me? That's my favorite affirmation. I used to say it all the time, and still do occasionally when I, kind of outrun my punt coverage, or I'd commit to something I'm not 100% certain is inside my realm of capacity, or, my wheelhouse of ability. So I'd say figure out what the I am statement that inspires, motivates, and accelerates your day with some enthusiasm. And so I am going to, or I am, and then fill in the blank, going to support or maybe work with or work towards, and then figure out what first step is required. So those are the two things I do. One, declare it, make a declarative statement different than yesterday's statement, one that inspires, and two, find a role model and figure out step one. Awesome. And check the believe box.
There you go, sir. Mojo Monday.
Mojo Monday.